Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Built Like This podcast. I am your host, Maxine, on episode 359. I know. I know. I don't need to hear anything else about my hair. I mean, no one has said anything to me about it. I mean, you better not. But the roots are rooting. But I'm blessed and highly favored. My hair grows. My hair grows really fast though, like instantly. It'll be like a week into, not even, let's say 6 days, just shy of a week. And my roots are already thicker and you can already kind of feel new growth. So that's always just been how my hair is. So anytime I would get these particular hairstyles, give it 6 days, it looks like it. So I'm just like, what the fuck? Anyway, how long did I have these braids in? I want to say a month, a total of a month. I wanted to root for 2 months, but even in between, like I went to my hairstylist, who I usually go to for my natural hairstyles, not for my braids. I separate my stylist. So I do my silk presses with her. I do my natural hair, like bantu knots, flat twists. She does cornrows too, so that's about it. But I don't go to her for like, she's not my braider. This is my hairstylist and my braider. So I went to her with my braids in, and then she just gave me a good wash, and that was the goal, to get it washed and to add more life to this hair. But at this point, I'm ready to get it off. I'm ready to get it off. But I mean, it still look good. I'm liking it regardless, but still. You know how you just get over it? That's how I'm feeling. Who else is over it? Let's talk about this man right here. Who you see on my screen. Make sure you are following me on or subscribed. Make sure you're subscribed on the YouTube of this channel, of this podcast. Thank you in advance. Marvin Sapp. Never would have made it. I mean, hello. Marvin Sapp. We all know him. Well, at least many Black people do, at the very least. And he is extraordinaire. He's a gospel extraordinaire. He's well respected in the gospel genre. A lot of people know his music and could recite some of his lyrics. I know he did an NPR what's it called? Small Room, NPR Small. You know what I'm talking about. He did that pretty recently and nailed it. Everyone was pretty much impressed with it until he said, close the doors. That first line reminds me of Nene Leakes to Kim Zolciak on the first season of Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion episode, when Nene said to Kim, close your legs to married men. Close your legs to married men. Now, Nene, since her husband passed and went on, she opened her legs to married men. The boyfriend she had after her husband passed, he actually was married, or is married technically. I don't think he is divorced yet. So the irony is rich. Open your legs to marry. Anyway, Marvin Sapp said, close the door to married men. No, he said, close the door. Close the door. Apparently, this took place last year. I mean, not even last year, really. It's a few months ago. This was said in defense of what he said, as to say, I'm not on this, that's not usually me. I feel like he was trying to play it off in a sense. But he said that recently, and let's go ahead and just get into this video, and then we're going to talk about actually his defense. He recently came out and said a bit. I don't know what he said, so we're going to watch that together in a moment. But apparently he responded to the backlash that he's been receiving for this robbery. That's what it was. Hello, that's what it was, for this robbery. And I just want to know what he has to say. So we'll get to that in a moment. I'll just put that in the queue. But right now, let's go ahead and watch this video of this man right here. Let's go ahead and get into it.
How many of y'all really received something from the word of the Lord tonight? Listen, when you study scripture, you will notice that whenever God did something in the lives of the patriarchs of old, the patriarchs would pause, they would set up an altar, and they would offer up sacrifice. I asked each and every one of you how many of y'all received something from the word of the Lord. Everyone in this place said these words: I did. Because of your acknowledgement of what God did in word, there is an obligation that is attached to that acknowledgement. In biblical days, they offered livestock, grain. That was a type of currency. Note, if you will, I did not say money. I said currency. And this is what God is saying for at least 1,000 of you in the building. And this is simple. I'm not going to challenge you the way Bishop did, but I know that there's 1,000 individuals under the sound of my voice that can do what I'm about to challenge you all to do. This is simple. 1,000 people giving what I'm about to challenge will be $20,000. 1,000 people giving what I'm about to challenge you all to do will be $20,000. Now, for those of us who are on the dais, I'm taking you higher, so put it back.
Let's go ahead and pause right there and let's break that down. Let's break that down, y'all. What did we just hear? Tell me what we heard. What did we hear? So he wanted confirmation that you received his word. So apparently before this moment here, he gave a message. Maybe he delivered a message. Maybe he's also a pastor. Or maybe he's saying after his performance, he's checking in with the audience, with the congregation, and seeing if they received God's message from his performance, right? It could be either or. And this is common in the church, period. It's very common where they would, they would ask, they would kind of see the crowd and say, have you been fed? Have you been fed? And that's to say the gospel, the word of the Lord is to feed you. And there's a lot there, right? There's a lot there. I remember being younger, and when the pastor would say, are you guys ready to eat? Are you guys ready to eat? And me being the foodie that I am, me being always hungry, even to this day, but me being always hungry, I was excited. I'm like, we got food? We got every time. We got food. But that was a lie. It wasn't about food as in chicken, tomato, and sausage. I'm just thinking that. But it was about food in the sense of the word feeding you, the word being your sustenance. Now, the thing is, when we talk about God or when we talk about the Bible, I understand, because y'all know I come from a Christian background. I grew up in the church. Right now, I'm not in the church. Doesn't mean I don't believe in God. It just means I am not aligned with the church. And there's a lot there. But the point is, I've since grown out of some of the mindsets that were indoctrinated in me. But I remember being younger and learning that, all you need is a word of God, right? All you need is a word of God. All you need is the Bible. That fills you up. You're hungry, read the word of God. You're tired, read the word of God. You're depressed, read the word of God. And I just want to say, as I am along in my adult years and I have cultivated the life for myself that I desire, I realized that way of thinking back then is not sustainable. It's not. And I think that's so hard for many Christians to receive, because for so long it's just all you need is the word of God. All you need is God. All you need is the Bible. That's it. That's it. That's all. That's it. And I think that's so dangerous because we fail to utilize other resources that are essential for our well-being, right? We disregard doctors, actual medical doctors. Now I know there's a whole conversation with that because there are doctors who only push prescription and surgeries because they receive kickbacks, these financial incentives from that. Absolutely. But you have to have discernment. And I don't think every doctor is like that. Every medical doctor is like, I don't think that. And I don't think we should look at the hospital or medical doctors in general as just frauds or people who just want your money and they don't care about your actual health. There are good doctors out there. You just have to be discerning when deciding who you want on your team. All in all, what I want us to get away from is this mindset of all I need is the Bible. I don't think that's it. I don't think all you need is the Bible. I don't think all you need is prayer. I think they could help. They're an aid, but that is not all you need. And when we get out of that mindset, we realize how much better it is to think in the sense of reality. I'm sorry to say it, but when we think in the sense of reality and when we actually sit in, hold on, am I even connected? Oh my gosh, I'm not even connected to my bad, y'all. All right. But when we think in the sense of reality, when we think in the sense of like just actuality, of things actually happening, we utilize resources that are relevant and necessary, such as medical doctors, such as therapists, right? I'm not saying we always have to be in therapy, but I think sometimes it could be helpful. And dentists and eating whole foods, right? Like you should eat when you're hungry. Now, right now, I'm actually kind of going through this, not kind of, I am in this health journey. I don't want to be too transparent about it because I've been mindful of sometimes when you tell people or say out loud what you're going to do or what you're in, if people are not in the same wavelength as you, they tend to spew out their negative projections of said thing you said. And I just like to protect my peace. So I'm not going to say exactly what I'm on, but sometimes when we get in this mindset of, starvation, because there's a fine line between fasting and starvation. And I think oftentimes when people say things in the church like all you need to do is pray. All you need to do is read the Bible. And I think that is absolutely dangerous. Let's continue.
I'm a strong believer that leaders lead not only in time, not only in talent, but also in treasure. Leaders lead in time, talent, and treasure. I was taught a long time ago that it costs to sit up here. There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors.
Good morning, guys.
We had a long night.
Girl. All right, let's get back to that. My bad. I'm just preparing.
Close the doors. We all gonna lead together.
So he gets to the point of, okay, y'all received something, right? Y'all got something from this word that I just delivered. Y'all got something from me, right? All right, let me get something from you. But instead of painting it as that directly, I'm going to chalk it up as God needs this, right? God needs this, because if you give to God, but it's really going to my pockets, or it's really going to my accounts, or it's really going to this new car that I'm going to buy, it's really going to all these other things. But I'm going to chalk it up and say, you're giving it to God. And when you give to God, he blesses you tenfold. You're going to get back what you put in tenfold. They talk about that. That's talked about in the Bible. And because that's mentioned in the Bible, what you give, you're going to get it back in tenfold. Along those lines, there's this thought and belief that that is so. So of course, I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
Ain't going no place but to the restaurant. There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. Even if you're giving tangibly, just put your hand on take your phone and stick it on the bucket. Shh. Giving is worship. Giving is worship. 1,000 people online need to give $20. This is easy, saints. This is an easy miracle. We should be able to raise $40,000 tonight just from y'all giving. I'm about to go get in my truck. I'm going to my hotel. I got me some fruit. I'm doing fruit now. Fruit and water. I'm trying to look at us. Yeah. Now after you come up here, you can open the doors. Y'all can walk out the door after you come up here. But make sure you come this way before you go out the door. That's it. Look at God. Look at what God has done.
Okay, so it looks like he obviously got some people to give him the amount that he's requesting. So he said $20 is not a lot of money. To whom? To whom? Marvin Sapp is worth, I think, $2 million last time I've received that message. To whom? And yes, in the grand scheme of things, sure, $20 is not a lot, but it also is. It also is in the sense of if you are in your last $20, if you're just making your $20 work and you're stretching it, if you are living paycheck to paycheck, every bit of dollar helps. And what I don't like about this messaging is it also says he says, oh, this is the easiest miracle you could get. Tying it into the fact that when you give, you worship God and God is going to bless you. God's going to bless you tenfold. And I don't want to say that's not true, but I also don't want to hear that. Let me just say that very clearly, because I do believe in miracles. I absolutely believe in that. I believe that, in divine intervention, I believe God sees you and knows what you need, what you desire, all these things. And I believe all of that. Absolutely. But I think what happens here, people like a Marvin Sapp, and he's not the only one. He's not the first one to have done something like this, and he won't be the last. But people like him, they will use it in a way to be manipulative. That's a big word here. They're using it in a way to be manipulative. How can I manipulate the audience, the congregation, I should say, to believe what I'm saying to them, to be convinced that giving me this $20, that's not a lot of money. That's not, if I could just get $20 from 40,000 of y'all, then I'm going to get that money. I'm going to get that bag, right? So I think what the issue here is, so many people in the church, I think they don't realize how manipulative the church can be and is. Let's say that again, the church can be and is manipulative. Why? Or how? What makes you say that? Think about the music that you listen to, or that you're worshiping, that you're receiving or listening to, right? And singing along, worshiping in the church. There's a time when it's celebratory during a service, and there's a time when it's woe is me. You're walking like this. You're downtrodden. I'm nothing but a sinner. I'm not worthy of God's love, and it becomes like, y'all know what I'm talking about. The way you gotta move like that. You gotta move like that. And that's exactly the impression that just the feeling that you receive when you're at a church. You're going from high to low, but it's mostly low, because not only do you have a segment in the church where you're singing those very downtrodden type of songs, but you're finding yourself like questioning your worth, right? When they get to the preaching part of the sermon or of the service, now they're spewing out messaging that feel hateful, that feel like an attack towards you, your identity, what you're going through. You feel misunderstood, you feel alone, even though many people in that room, in that house of the Lord, is going through the same thing you're going through. But because oftentimes the messaging in a sermon is targeted in a way that comes across hateful, it makes you feel alone. It makes you feel like you can't open up and really be honest and share what's going on in your life. So let's get to what. So
I am here.
Right here. Let's go ahead and get into this reaction. The Breakfast Club shared this on an episode of their show. So we're going to pull it from this channel and kind of get into what Marvin Sapp said in response to the backlash he received.
Rapunzel let down your hair.
Yes. She had a party last night in the city.
Yes. The bar is still hitting me.
She
okay,
got time.
Tread lightly this morning. Okay, all right.
You had a great party last night.
Thank you. Yes. Later, I pulled up and I'm like, dang, how I miss her, because this is crazy. Marvin Sapp now is, I guess, trying to apologize and take some accountability, but I'm not buying it. Let's take a listen.
There's 1,000 of you. I said, close them doors. Close the doors. We all gonna leave together. There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. I'm challenging each of you all down here to give a $20 seed. But I need everyone standing up here with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. And this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically or even if you're giving tangibly, I'm gonna have y'all come to the altar and give it, because I need to see 1,000 people moving. Take your phone and stick it on the bucket. Giving is worship.
It cost to sit up here was the crazy part.
That's VIP.
Exactly. You got to pay to play. That was not him apologizing. That was his original comments. But I'm glad we played that first, because it's going
a little more stand.
my opinion. Now let's take a listen to him on the Ricky Smiley morning show explaining what happened in the apology.
People took issue with me saying shut the doors. Understand, I never said lock the doors. Yeah. Shutting doors means that people still have.
I know you lying. That's his response. I didn't say lock the doors. I just said shut it. I just said close it. I didn't say turn the key. I didn't say throw away the key. Good night.
The ability to go in and out. And I can honestly say, looking at the video, maybe I was a little more assertive than I should have been. And I can apologize for that. But number one, the $40,000, if it was $40,000 that was raised, was never given to me. That money was raised for the purpose of taking care of the budget for their conference. Number two, it didn't happen at my church. It happened in Baltimore. Number three, people take issue with me being firm with the ushers. But the doors needed to be closed, and there was a lot of pandemonium and stuff that was going on out there.
Due to you, he said, wow. It's y'all fault.
Excuse me.
Okay, I'll pause right there. So, okay, let's get him back on the screen, y'all. Marvin Sapp, please. Marvin Sapp, bye. Oh, I didn't say lock the doors. I just said close it. There's a lot going on outside. What's going on outside? What's going on outside? What are we talking about? People were trying to leave. Yes. When you have a service, I can already tell just by watching that first video. When you have a service like that, it was a long day. Okay, we received the word, we worshiped, we gave you some tithes. Now we're ready to go. But even after giving tithes, he wants donations. Shout out to Dr. Umar. He wanted donations. He wanted a specific amount. And he was noticing, this is my assumption, but from what I could tell and from what I've grew up in, this is a typical thing, right? When people see you about to leave or seeing droves of people walking out because they're ready to go, it's been 8 hours here, I'm ready to go. He's going to say things like, close the door, close the door. So he apologized. I guess he thought I'm gonna get this off by apologizing. I'm gonna get this off by being assertive in that sense, or apologizing for being assertive to the ushers or whomever else. He's claiming that the money did not go towards him at all. It went to the budget. First of all, y'all know the budget at a church never gets complete. Let's start there. They would say building fund, the building fund. This is money towards a building fund. What's being built? I'm sorry, I'm at work right now. you heard that in the background. What's being built? Hello? Why isn't it done? Why is it an ongoing fund? I know building, if you think of the word, is ongoing. That's a little funny joke there. Anyway, let's move on. Marvin Sapp, goodbye. I'm sure a portion of that 40,000. He's like, and he's trying to act like he didn't know the amount. First of all, you said the amount yourself. He's like, 40,000 or whatever number it was. It was 40,000. It was 40,000. Let's continue. Selena, anything for Selena. Anything for I don't want to play anything because I know her state is strong. Okay, so you're just gonna hear my redemption of her song. That ain't got to. Na, na, na. Sing along. Hey, okay, yo. Selena probably was I think Selena, the biopic of Selena, played by Jennifer Lopez, I think that was her first role. That is damn near the best biopic next to Tina Turner, because Angela Bassett did her thing with that. She should have won the Oscar. I think they're probably neck to neck. I think so, because to this day, Selena still hits. Okay, her music, the movie, J-Lo playing her, like all of that. I feel like J-Lo doesn't even give enough credit to that role as she should, because that role really put her on, in my opinion. But anyway, Selena, we are back to talking about her because we have reached the time point in which her alleged killer, we'll talk about the alleged part here, but her killer, she was up for parole. And with parole, you get to have the potential of being released, right? Based on good behavior, based on time served, all of that. And she is denied parole yet again, because I remember this happened a few years back, because she's up for parole every few years or so. And I remember talking about this before, when she was denied then. She's been denied back to back. This woman is in her late 60s, early 70s max. I want to understand, what threat does she have in society? I get it. Everyone can have, nowadays, everyone can have access to a gun. But to really believe that she is so threatening that she can't return back to society, I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair. I understand Selena was a big loss to many of us, right? To all of us. Shit, I cried. It's like, it was back in 94. I was 3 years old. What are we talking about? But still, after watching the movie, I cried. While watching the movie, I cried, I should say. While I was watching that. But it really was a big impact in many parts of the country, particularly Texas. Y'all know I live here in Texas, and so I live near a house that has a Selena backdrop. Like, there is this backdrop on the side of the house. Every time I drive by the house, I see it. It's a painted mural. It's a whole thing. Selena is loved. She is beloved in Texas, Tejas, and of course Mexico, and every other place, right? California as well. Every place that is heavily populated by Mexicans. So I understand this passionate feel or protection around Selena. It is a loss still. It's been many, many years, but regardless, it's devastating. It's devastating. But do I think this woman here, Yolanda, needs to be released? Yes, it's been 35 years. Hello? I think she should be released, 32 years or whatever. I think she should be released. I don't feel like it's fair for her to rot when she was sentenced for a specific time. She served that time in full. She served that time. Now, if they wanted her to get the death penalty, they should have just sentenced her to that. But to kind of get her hopes up in thinking that she may be able to be eligible for parole, I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair. Her family decided to share their response and explain why it is a good day and why they're grateful that she has been denied parole. So let's go ahead and I'm going to show you the part that I'm talking about. Let's see right here. So I'm pulling this off of Instagram, the Jasmine brand. So shout out to them for this point here. But let's go ahead and get into it. So they say here, let me see if I can make this bigger for y'all. Okay, I'll just read it out loud in case you can't read that. I think it's a little too far. But they say here, today we are grateful that the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles. So she was in prison. She's been in prison in Texas. I didn't know that. So it makes sense why she wouldn't. I mean, maybe she was in prison in Massachusetts or someplace, Connecticut, then maybe she would have had more of a chance. But because the Mexican population here is strong, not even strong, is strong. Yeah, she's not getting out. She's not getting out. Today, we are grateful that the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles has chosen to deny parole for Yolanda Saldivar. While nothing can bring Selena back, this decision reaffirms that justice continues to stand for the beautiful life that was taken from us and from millions of fans around the world far too soon. Selena's legacy is one of love, music, and inspiration. She lived with joy, gave selflessly, and continues to uplift generations with her voice and her spirit. As her family and loved ones, we remain committed to preserving her memory and ensuring that her story is honored with the dignity and respect it deserves. We thank Selena's fans for their unwavering support throughout the years. Your love has been a source of strength and healing. We will continue to celebrate Selena's life, not the tragedy that took her from us, and we ask that all who cherish her do the same. But here's the thing. If you want the people to solely focus on the strength and healing that Selena's life brought, why continue to put your foot on Yolanda's neck? Right? You said here that you don't want to focus on the tragedy that took her from us, right? I get that. You don't want that to be the focus point of Selena, right? That's all we talk about is Yolanda. I get that. So why are we still talking about Yolanda? Let that elderly woman go. Let her go. I don't think it's fair. Again, Selena was a big loss. I'm hurt. I get that. But I don't think it's fair for us to keep our neck on this woman's back. I don't. I really don't. So, I mean, God bless her. I mean, it is what it is. God bless her. But I want to get to a conspiracy that I watched of this killing here. Excuse me. But I'm saying conspiracy because I don't know if it's to be the case, and it's dealing with the spiritual world. So even that's a whole different realm. But let's get into it because I'm intrigued, and I'm sure you are as well. I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen again. And we're gonna watch a bit of this woman's here. Her name is Sloan, and she picks up on energies that are on another plane, if you know what I mean. And I'm gonna try my best to skip through certain parts, and hopefully we could get the understanding, or y'all could get it, because I understood it. But let's go ahead and take a listen.
Them to know where she went on the other side.
Let's go here. I'm starting from the end because obviously this is a 32-minute video. I'm not trying to play the whole thing, but I want us to hear from the end, because usually at this point she wraps up what she's saying, like she summarizes it. So let's start from here and see if this bell rings one more goddamn time.
An abuse issue in Selena's family. Selena carries tremendous shame and guilt. Not now, but did. She did fall to her knees and beg Yolanda not to make that information public. Yolanda was using it to stop Selena from firing her, but she was threatening her. Selena was like, you can't say this. It had something to do with her sister, and it had something to do with when Selena started to make money and go out in the house and out of the house and work, and the expectation of the sister. That's all I'm going to say with that. So Selena felt horrific, okay, because it was a family secret. And that she pushes the mother's energy right away from it. Like Selena can't even look in the face of her mother. And she said that to Yolanda. She said that to Yolanda. You can't do this. You can't talk about my family like this. And then Selena stood up. And when she saw the look in Yolanda's face, because Selena said, okay, if that's what you're going to do, she turned around and she started to run away from her, repulsed by her. Not angry, not fearful, repulsed, sickened. I am sick. And she turned around and ran away, and Yolanda shot her in the back like that, just shot her. Now, here's the interesting thing. Selena ran across, as you know, the story goes, ran into the lobby of the motel or hotel, ran in there, collapsed on the ground. I'm seeing her as she's teetering between here and there. She does not want to die. She doesn't want to die at that time. She wants to come back into her body, but she's being pulled. Her guides are pulling her. They're pulling her over that way. I believe, from what she's telling me, what I'm feeling actually, I believe the reason that happened is because I think her physical body wouldn't have done well coming back. Like I think it would be, she probably would have just delayed her death by, I don't know, hours or weeks. So they were trying to get her to leave her body, and she was trying to cling to it. She was so sad because she couldn't do this again. Do you understand? We're talking 3 or 4 lifetimes where she couldn't speak. She hasn't been able to do what she's supposed to do on a soul level. She went out of her body. She clung to her body and came back. She went back out. She saw her son. She went straight for her son on the other side.
Okay, so there's a lot here. And I'm going to have to circle back a little bit too to get more context. We'll get to the point where I want to get into. But what Sloan is saying here, Yolanda is not the killer we think she is. Hello? And there's some mess going on in the family. This is all alleged. I don't know what I'm talking about. Woody, woody, woo. Right? I got to say all that, right? But she's alleging. No, she's not alleging. She's saying it. But I'm alleging because I got to protect myself, right? I got to protect this neck. But she's saying here that there's a conspiracy here with the family. And I think that has a lot to do with this what's the word? This intensity, basically, to stop Yolanda from getting out. They're doing this on purpose. Because I'm thinking to myself, 35 years she did her time, right? She is totally out of society. Now it's time for her to get reintroduced. But because they're in fear that this woman here allegedly would reveal some family secrets that they're not comfortable sharing. Obviously, it's a secret. They're making sure this woman stays in the prison, stays in there, wraps up in there. So there's a lot to that. Let's see if I want to I'm gonna circle back right here. Let's see from here. Let's go ahead.
That are saying really rational stuff and important stuff because we disregard them due to their life status. So her soul chose to come in like this. Her father was in direct conflict with her soul being successful. Her father was a person from the past that was in conflict and needed to keep her down, but didn't realize it as he was pushing her out there publicly until it was too late. Sounds bizarre. I don't know that consciously he knew it, but he came from that first Roman lifestyle, okay? The Roman life that I saw, or if it is Roman life, but that lifestyle that I described. He came from there. Everybody in her family did. She was born into a family. All of those retrograde planets reflect that, but she was born into a family, literally, where these people were in conflict with her and she, them, but none of them knew it because you give birth to a baby, you go about your life. Now, she began to get successful. The minute that woman, what was she, the fan club lady, Yolanda, caught a glimpse of Selena, and this is what I'm being shown, Yolanda recognized who Selena was. And I'm not talking about her being a singer. I'm not talking about her fame. I'm talking about this woman recognized her from a past life. Now, here's this weird thing. The woman, Yolanda, was a woman, obviously, and she had been a man in the past life, and she had been a man that had captured Selena in a past life. Selena had not done what this man wanted her to do.
Now I'm gonna pause there because I know some of y'all thinking, Maxie, what have we? This woman been a man. Look, if you're not into this kind of stuff, I can understand. And offensive to even discuss such topics, but I very much believe that we are spiritual beings more than physical, right? We are in a physical body, but ultimately our spirit is within this body, and that's what matters. That's who we are. So when we pass, like when our physical body has reached its limit, I think our spirit lives on. Now, I don't have all the answers. I don't know exactly what that looks like. Are you reincarnated? I'm not necessarily against that belief either. But I think it's not this like black and white situation. What she's saying here is the karmic history in the family is Selena was, her spirit at least, was attacked or was gonna be attacked, was trying to get killed by Yolanda's spirit. And previously Yolanda was in, though she was, like I said, she's a spirit first, but she was in a physical female body as we know her to be. But previous to that, she was in a male physical body. Follow along with me, y'all. Follow along and check her videos out. Sloan Bella. I think what she's saying, I honestly believe it. I really do. She speaks with such sincerity and clarity, and it's not fantastical for me because I live in this space of like things are blurry. Like we're not just like physical beings, so apparently, Selena's father is what I'm getting at from when I watched this video from the beginning a few months ago at this point. Selena's father was always jealous of her. If y'all remember the movie Selena, if y'all watched the movie Selena, you remember her father started off in a band and his band was not catching any traction. His band was not popular. It was not at all getting the crowd to come in and support, and he grew frustrated with that. He just decided to chalk up that dream and become a restaurant owner, and a successful one at that. And he notices one day that Selena, she has a great voice, she has a great presence to her, and his other kids, they were good enough to work as background, as bandmates for their family sibling band. And that's what he taught them to become. So you remember in the beginning of the movie, he was teaching them a lot of how to be a star, how to be a performer. And with Selena, she was the star out of her siblings. She shined the most, and she was humble in her spirit. But on stage, you could really see how much she shined and was the star. Her father envied that. Now, we don't see that part in the movie played out of him envying her. He was this believer in her. He really structured her, and you're going to be this, you know. But you could even make the argument and say he was so obsessed with her being famous and her being good and good enough and pushing her to the point where you probably think, is he living through her? Is he low-key jealous that she's receiving the fame and the praise that he always wanted when he was younger in his band? So there's a lot there. This could be a whole focus episode on that, so I don't want to get too much into this topic too much, but y'all know what I'm saying. Go ahead and check this video out in full and circle back with me and comment in the comment space below and let me know what you think. But yeah, it's interesting. It's absolutely interesting. Let's move on. So, Companion. Did y'all see this movie? Hello? When I saw the trailer for this movie, I was like, "Ooh, let's bring it back." I was intrigued, right? I didn't know what was going on, what was it about, and I don't like to watch too much of a trailer or like those long-winded trailers because they typically give you the whole synopsis, and that's ridiculous. But I saw the trailer for this movie and I was intrigued. I wanted to know more what's going on here. Why is she being burned with the flame? Remember in the trailer, she's at a table across a man, and the impression could be, oh, this is her significant other, but he's abusing her, or she didn't realize how abusive he could be, and she's stuck in this house with him because in the trailer you see her trying to pull her arms out from the chair that she's tied to with these arrest cuffs. What are they called? Handcuffs. Anyway, I finally watched the movie. I like to watch movies weekly on, like, when I'm at home, long day from work, on a Friday typically, and I have a list of things I plan to watch, and I check off the movies that I've watched, and even shows are on the list too. It's like a little thing I do, and it's fun. It's like my little time. It's fun. I watch it with my babe too. So hey, Freckles babe. Anyway, I watched this movie and I was utterly disappointed. Why was I disappointed, Maxine? Because I think it was not fully flushed out. I'm going to run past this little topic here. I just wanted to get this off my chest. What I don't like about this is we get to a point in the movies where AI or robots, that seems to be the trending topic. And I understand with the times that we're in, people want to say Elon Musk. Y'all got a Tesla. Cut it out. Elon Musk, is he really the bad guy y'all think he is? I'm just kind of tired of this same rhetoric of robots, of AI taking over and all this stuff. All in all, you have this man here. He's in a relationship with this woman. You're not introduced to the reality that she's a robot until later in the movie, or well, shortly into the movie actually. And you're like, oh, AI. And he actually paid for her, or he leased her actually. There's a program or a company that he leased from, and he's able to kind of make her into the woman he wants her to be. And he says it's because, oh, for a guy like me, I'm struggling in this world. And the irony is rich here. The irony is rich. But you see here how he sees himself as an odd duckling, or this man who can't get anything he wants, despite him being a white, despite him being seemingly attractive, or enough so. He struggles with getting women, I guess, and he feels the need to lease this robot female. it eventually bites him in the butt because he ends up dying at the end. Again, spoiler alert, he dies. But the way that things kind of unfold, the storyline, the plot, the setting, he initially set her up to kill a guy who he was trying to steal money from because he's filthy rich, and the guy's girlfriend is one of his friends, and they concocted this scheme together. And I just feel like it was a cheap and very boring setup. I wanted it to be the suspenseful movie, but it had many pockets of comedy that I was not expecting. I wasn't expecting. So yeah, I mean, watch it to your own, at your own risk. Let me know what you think. But yeah, Companion is gonna be a no for me, dog. It's gonna be a no for me. Let's get into YG. First of all, I would love to play this song or even snippets of it, but I've played enough content video from other creators, and I'm worried if the next one I play is going to be the end of this video. So let's just say here you have YG, who is disclosing to us intimate information about his childhood, and it's pretty disturbing. It's pretty unfortunate. Maybe, let me see. I'm going to play a video. I'm going to play parts of the video just to kind of get you guys to hear what I'm saying. And not disturbing in a sense of, ooh, he's being nasty. Ooh, no, it's disturbing in a sense of he was abused. He was sexually abused. And he says this directly in the song, in the music video. It plays out. And we don't see this side of YG. And I think he's gone through some therapy, some realization, some reflections in his life, and realized that, oh, this was not okay. What happened to me was not okay. And for so long, young men are conditioned to believe it is appropriate to have sexual relations with older women. That seems to be the rite of passage for many men. And I think in this case here, you have YG who is telling us, no, that was abuse. I was abused and I was hurt. I was not taken care of. I was a child when this happened. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
5 bitches twice my age. Picked me up from school, took me to hers and got laid. Ever since that day, I never looked at shit the same.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it right there because again, copyright. I think that may have been more than 10 seconds. So Lord, let's pray. But you'll just see the video playing in the background. I'm not gonna play the audio. But we hear how he opens up about being raped. He was raped when he was 14 years old by an older woman. And this was something that took place, when he was a young kid. And he thought this was all right. He was essentially groomed by this woman. Now, I don't know the context of this woman's part in his life. I don't know if she was an auntie, a friend of a friend, a family friend or whatnot, but she was his abuser. And to hear him break this down and share how it impacted him and how he was affected by this. So I'm going to read some of the lyrics here. When I was young, I got raped by a bitch twice my age, picked me up from school to meet at hers and got laid. Ever since that day, I never looked at shit the same. Fucked up in the brain, pussy, what I blame. Okay, so he goes into further detail about how it affected him further into the song. So y'all could check that out on your own. But he goes on to really talk about the damage and how much he was damaged by this abuse, and how it resulted to him abusing substances and had this lingering trauma in his life. And I want to commend him for being as honest and open about this and doing it in this way. And I'm saying that because oftentimes when men talk about being in relationships or sexual encounters or damn right sex, right, with older women, they see it as, yo, dog, I'm a man, I fucked that bitch up, they see it as a point of praise, right? Like I'm a man now, right? I fucked this 35-year-old woman when I was 15. There's a podcaster, I'm gonna just say it because he talks about himself anyway. Ish on the Joe Budden podcast. Y'all know I am a Joe Venger, so please be kind. But Ish, who I love also, I really like his take and his opinion and his character for the most part. He has he has his things, but anyway, he talks a lot about, or he references plenty when he was younger and he had sex. His first time having sex was 11, and it was with some, okay, you know what, immediately I thought it was with someone older. I'm remembering now, it wasn't with an older woman. I mean, she was older, but not older woman in that sense. So he was 11, and the woman, well, the girl, I'm saying woman, the girl was 13 or 14, 15, around there. So she's still a kid. Now the guys well, Joe in particular, he would joke and say, you were abused, like that's not okay. But Ish, and I'm bringing him to say, Ish considered it as, no, like we were both kids, I wasn't abused, and I wanted it. I knew what I was doing, I liked it, it was good. But I'm bringing this up to say, YG references that, well, not Ish's story directly, but he references how his body, yeah, he thought he wanted it, he thought he was doing the right thing, he thought it was cool, but then he realized how it negatively affected him later on in life and even during that time, and he's seeing it from a different lens. And I think we are slowly but surely moving into a space where men are feeling more comfortable to really be honest and open and sharing how they were abused. And abuse is the right word here. They were abused by older women, because we do hear situations when it's a man, and that's a whole different conversation, right? But with an older woman, again, the perception is, oh, if I wanted that, I beat that woman, I beat that pussy up, and it's this like proud moment, when in all actuality it's not something to be proud of, right? It's not your fault, don't get me wrong, but it's not something to wear on your chest as a badge of honor. You were molested, you were taken advantage of, you was raped, I should say, actually, you were raped. And for him to share this in a video, for him to release this as a single, not only to put it in, because sometimes when people release traumatic events that took place in their life, they kind of hide it in song or track 17 in their 25 track album. So you might miss it. It might be one line and it's like, wait, what, did I hear what I thought I heard? This case, YG said, no, I'm gonna release this song. This is gonna be a release. It's gonna be a single, and there's gonna be a music video. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna really paint it. I'm gonna paint the picture for you. You're not gonna be misled. You're not gonna be confused. You're gonna hear exactly what happened to me and how it affected me, how I was abused. This was abuse, and it was not okay. So I want to commend him. I think it's awesome that he has come to a point to share this. I think he probably went through he went through a lot of therapy to get to this point of healing. So congratulations to him, and I hope this encourages other men to speak as such, to say it with their chests, and to not disguise it as, oh no, I wanted it. You didn't want it. Like, it's not okay, because it's one thing for your body to betray you in that sense, right? Because naturally your body is going to produce the natural responses when it comes to someone massaging your pussy, if you're a woman, right? Or if you're a young girl, or someone who is massaging your dick and you're a young man. Naturally your body's gonna react to that kindly or happily, because that's naturally, that's biologically, that's alignment with what the body wants. Let's be very honest. But again, we are more than our bodies. We are more than our bodies, and we are, we're spiritual beings. So spiritually we realize and we know this is not okay. This doesn't feel right. I'm being taken advantage of. And we may not have the language at that time, but at the very least, we know how we feel that, dang, this wasn't right. Well, I don't feel good about this. I feel icky about that. Lean into that more. Lean into that more. So shout out to YG. I think he's inspiring for people to feel empowered to really share their story. So shout out to him. Okay, this woman here, Dr. I'm saying that with quotes. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant has outed. She has outed. What's his name? Offset. She has outed Offset because she thought that was the cool thing to do. I'm gonna just run past this topic because this woman here, I'm over her. I'm over the rounds that she's making. I'm over this this tone that she has as if she is so credible. Y'all need to stop just listen to every little person just because of letters behind her name that still isn't supported with credentials. Shout out to Corey Holcomb because he called it out. But because she's a pretty face, she's good to look at. She's an easy pick. Anyway, she decided to expose Offset on the matter of him apparently asking her for a convo. And he says, and I guess she released the screenshot. I don't know why she would do that, but she released the screenshot and she says, he says to her, can we have a convo, professional? And her response is absolutely. And this was said during an interview Dr. Cheyenne Bryant had with Jason Lee. In this interview, you see her talking about it. I'm not gonna play the interview. I'm gonna show y'all the screenshots so y'all see what I'm saying. So I don't know what led to Offset wanting to reach out to her and feeling the need to inquire for her support. But I feel like this was an L on both people because one, if you really want to have a professional combo with someone, go to their website, go to their link, you don't DM them. Like, what are we talking about? And her response, she's over here thirsty as hell. Barely 2 hours into him reaching out to her. Absolutely. Anything for you, Offset. Anything for you. That's her. Super excited to be a part of this clout that Offset has, considering Cardi B is always trashing him online. So I don't know, I don't know if he came forward and denounced her or maybe tried to deny it, and Dr. Cheyenne Bryant decided to release that screenshot. But nonetheless, I think she was not within her right to release or expose him, because why does the public need to know that? What if he really did wanted your professional advice or support or guidance? You share this out loud because what? You're an influencer now? Like what matters most to you? It just speaks a lot to her doctorate. And again, that's with quotes. It speaks a lot to that and how illegitimate it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you are subscribed and you're telling a friend to tell a friend. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about any of these topics. Let me know in the comments below. And if you feel it within your heart to donate to this podcast, to this grassroots podcast, check the ticker at the bottom of the screen. And if you're just listening, the ticker is Cash at Me at was the $ BLT pod #1, BLT pod 1. All right, thank you so much for listening. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.